The kids are finally out of the house. The house is quiet. You've got the time you were craving for all summer. And yet, instead of feeling relaxed, your brain is running a marathon. The to do list is screaming at you. Your coffee's already cold because you've been pacing the kitchen, deciding what urgent task to tackle first. And then there's the guilt. Because shouldn't you be happy that you have this time? Shouldn't you be doing more? The house is now peaceful. Let's get into it. You're listening to the Free to Be Mindful podcast, where busy moms get practical tips and real talk conversations to find calm, joy, and a little more breathing room in everyday life. I'm Vanessa, licensed therapist, mom coach, and a mom to a tween and toddler. Each week, we get honest about motherhood and mindset, helping you live with more presence, less pressure, without losing your, here we go. Hello and welcome to episode 279 of the Free to Be Mindful podcast. I hope that you're feeling good, looking good, and doing better in this world than you were yesterday. So regardless of how old your kids are, we often think of motherhood as a series of visible tasks: laundry, dishes, school drop-offs, and so much more. But what wears us down isn't so much the doing of it all, it's actually the thinking ahead, the planning, the coordinating, the remembering, the anticipating, all of this brain heavy labor that rarely gets acknowledged. And generally speaking, there's a default assumption of leadership in many households that mom is the one who keeps everything running. Not because she's asked to each and every time, but because the role has been conditioned over the years. You become the person who not only sees what needs to be done, but also the one who takes care of it without hesitation. And here's the tricky part. Even when you physically have the house to yourself, even when you're working from home, that leadership role doesn't clock out. The mental tabs are still open and they're gaining by the minute. So, what is this weight that we carry even when nothing's physically in our hands? It's known as the mental load, that feeling of your brain that never gets a break, or the constant sense that you're juggling way too many balls at once. And let's break it down what this actually entails. First is the cognitive labor, the planning the meals, planning snacks, coordinating appointments, tracking school events, managing finances, and remembering every single detail in between. The second is the emotional labor, the holding the awareness of everyone's moods, mediating conflicts, anticipating needs, and smoothing transitions before they even happen. And the third is invisible multitasking. You're really focused on one thing because you're folding laundry while mentally drafting tomorrow's grocery list while also remembering to email the teacher, all while keeping an ear out for your phone and for who's crying or maybe not making so much noise. And this isn't just a feeling that moms make up in their heads. The data truly backs it up. One study surveyed more than 3,000 parents and found that mothers handle 71% of household tasks requiring mental effort compared to the 45% for fathers. And that's a 60% imbalance in cognitive load alone. These tasks include everything from planning meals and arranging activities to managing family schedules and everything in between. So it's no wonder that as moms, we're always tired or on edge. Because on top of this cognitive load, then there's the emotional labor, carrying our kids' fears, managing moods, anticipating needs. And all of that is layered with endless household details like knowing when the milk is about to expire, when we're about to run out of laundry detergent, whose birthday is it this weekend, and what gift are they going to like? Cleaning out the kids' closets, figuring out which clothes are good for donation and which friends' kids might they fit. And if we're honest, half the time, we're also trying to remember which friends we already gave that bag of clothes to and quietly hoping that they didn't notice that some of the socks don't even have their pairs. And of course, there's knowing where our partner left their keys, remembering to text friends back, managing perimenopause, wondering how much foundation we can squeeze out before having to buy more. And oh, yeah, keeping up with our own jobs, careers, our hopes, our dreams, all while thinking, wait, wasn't I supposed to drink more water today? As we grab another coffee instead. I know you feel me. So, why am I sharing a spotlight on this feeling that we all know we know so well? Is it just to stress you out even more? Not at all. I'm bringing it up because it matters, and it matters for so many reasons, starting with our mental health. Carrying this kind of mental weight drains you in ways that a single nap or a weekend away can't fully fix. It's a constant hum in the background, and over time, it truly chips away at our energy and our resilience. And when we're already running on fumes, it's easy for guilt and pressure to creep in. And suddenly, every quiet moment becomes a chance to get ahead instead of a chance to simply be and breathe. Then we're conditioned to believe that productivity is the only acceptable way to spend time. And what that belief actually does is rob us of real rest. And this imbalance also shapes our relationship patterns because when cognitive labor defaults to one partner and stays there, it quietly becomes part of the household's operating system. And unless it's ever talked about and actively rebalanced, it doesn't go away and it just becomes your job by default, which can build to resentment. And that is all why we have to reframe rest because rest isn't a sign that you're slacking. It's what makes you more patient, more present, and more clear headed later. And when you start seeing it as an investment instead of an indulgence, then that's where everything can begin to change. So, if we know the mental load is real and that it's impacting our health, our relationships, and the way that we use our time, the question then becomes what can we actually do about it? Let me walk you through a few practical ways to start lightening the load today. And the first is name the load. Start by jotting down everything swirling in your head. Big things, small things, even the random, don't forget to buy light bulbs thought, which, let's be real, usually turns into a Target trip that somehow costs $127. But getting the thoughts onto paper really gives your brain permission to let go of holding it all at once. And maybe it's not paper, it can be a notes tab on your phone. I personally use Google Keep because I can open it up on my phone and on my desktop. The next is to just choose one priority. And once it's out of your head, resist the urge to tackle everything that follows it. Pick the single most important task for the right now and do that one thing well, and then move on instead of scattering your energy in 10 different directions and half doing them all. The next is redefine productive. I want you to begin to shift the idea that productivity only means doing or achieving. If something restores your energy, like taking a walk or enjoying a cup of tea or even sitting in silence, my friends, that is being productive because it's fueling you for what you're about to do next. And that can be share responsibility. Delegate in a way that truly lightens your mental load and don't just hand off a single chore. Pass off the ownership as an entire category. Let someone else plan the meals for the week or manage the school calendar so that you're not still doing all of the mental work behind the scenes. And do know that sometimes this does take up some time and some education behind it as well. I'll share with you, I recently told my almost 12-year-old that it is now his responsibility to load and unload the dishwasher. And the first few times he did it, of course, things were all over the place and not placed in the way that they make the most sense. But with time, each time I'd have to do it with him. And yes, that does add to the mental load at first. But then a few days or weeks from then, he is now able to do it by himself without me checking in. And if you're listening to this and thinking, okay, these ideas all sound real great, but I don't even know where to start, my friends, you are not alone. This is exactly the kind of work that I do in private one-to-one coaching. We sit down together and untangle this invisible load that you've been carrying piece by piece so that you can see exactly what's yours to hold on to and then what you can let go of. Then we build simple and realistic systems that fit your actual life, not just a Pinterest perfect version of it, because you know that doesn't exist anyway. And the result from all this is that you can go from feeling constantly on to finally having some mental space. The kind where you can drink your coffee while it's still hot, actually enjoy spending time with your kids without running the checklist in your head, and resting without feeling guilty. And if that's a shift that you've been craving, the link to book your free 60-minute discovery call is in the notes below. We'll talk about what's working, what's not, and how we can lighten the load together. So we know that the mom mental load didn't just disappear on its own or just because the house is quiet. If anything, sometimes it is that quiet that makes us more aware of how much we're holding. And that's why giving yourself permission to slow down isn't a sign of weakness or a sign of laziness, but instead it is a sign that you understand what it takes to keep showing up for your life and for your tribe, for your people, for your family, and for your kids. Your value as a mom, as a partner, a friend, a professional isn't measured by how much you can get done in a day. It's measured by the presence you bring, the energy you share, and the way that you care for yourself along the way. So, right now, as you're listening, take a quick scan of your surroundings, no matter where you are. And I want you to notice three small things that you appreciate. It can be the way the light is falling through the window, the warmth of your mug in your hands, or the simple fact that you have a moment to listen to something for you instead of for your kids. Let your attention rest there for just a second longer. And now think of one thing on your mental list that can wait. Just one. Imagine setting that one thing, that one idea, that one to do. Imagine setting it down on a shelf for later, knowing that it will still be there when you're ready. And this pause that you're giving yourself right now, that, my friend, is how you start lightening the load, one choice at a time. I hope that you can carry that with you into the rest of your day and not as another thing to do, but as a reminder that you get to decide how you spend your time, how you spend your attention and your energy. And my friends, if this episode resonated, please share it with someone who needs that reminder that rest is not a luxury, but it is a necessity. And if you're ready for tailored support, my private one-to-one mom coaching is designed to help you carry less and to help you live more without the guilt. And again, you can find the link in the show notes. Thanks so much for listening. And as always, remember, you are always free to be mindful. Catch you next time.